This conference will now be recorded.
This time, stand for our invocation, and we have Reverend Sam Van Slyke with Bladen Baptist Church here. If you would lead us in prayer, and Mr. Martin the pledge afterwards, please, sir.
Let's pray. Father, we come before you in times like this. We just praise you, Lord, that we have a God that we can depend on. Father, we just praise you, Lord, for being so faithful to us, for your love, your grace, and your mercy. We praise you, Father, first and foremost, that you sent your Son through grace, because you loved us so much, not that we deserve it, to come to this earth and die for our sin. So, Father, I just pray through Jesus Christ that you send your Spirit among this building right now. I praise you, Lord, for every elected individual. May you lead them to make righteous decisions that will glorify you. Father, I just pray that you lead, guide, and direct. Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I trust that all the commissioners seen the consent items.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question on one of the consent items.
Yes, sir.
Number 2Q. 2Q. Sheriff and agreement with the sheriff and the DDS agreement. Page 2 of that, item number 3 said the deputy to perform the service of this contract could be flexible in his hours. Now, does that mean that women will be working there as well, or only men? Said the employee should be flexible in his hours. I think that should be his or / her.
Yeah, I don't think there was no malice intended there. It should be.
It's a guy now, but I mean, not saying it couldn't be a gal. Hey, that's what I'm saying, but this said he should be flexible in his hours. So I was thinking that should be his / her.
Motion to approve that change.
Can I have one of those, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot. I think one of them has a 2-year contract, but we have it listed as a one-year contract. So I can't remember what it was.
Which one is that?
I think it was, I think it's Jay. I was looking
Jay.
for it, but I couldn't find it. Yeah. Or I do apologize. I meant to send it, but I couldn't find it. Yeah, I say it's 2023, but in the contract it says it's 2024. I think it's Jay. Let me check.
Is that P?
No, that's Jay. Who's Jay? I'm sorry. I apologize. I just want to make that correction. It's not a issue. It's just a correction.
Sure.
For the year. So we want to make sure they correct that. That's all.
Let the record reflect the 2 changes. Got a motion by Mr. Peterson.
Second.
And a second.
Well, wait a minute. You saying J? Which one is it? You saying J?
Public service agreement. Just
Well, that might, their year starts in July 2022 and runs to July 2023.
But you're saying that's not them.
I don't know. Don't be that way it runs there?
Yes, sir.
One of them says 2024. It's what
It's 24. So
I'm trying to find that for you. I do apologize. I started printing it and sent it to him, but when I looked at the email, it's not in there. When I asked about the other issue. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
I mean,
It is.
I'll make the motion and Greg can verify if it needs to change it and change it. That's okay.
That's where I was. Like,
Okay. I'll do that.
Okay. Still got the motion by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mr. Bullock. Any further discussion? As you know, if we change, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Forbid. Now approving consent items. Can I get a motion to approve the total package of consent items now?
Motion to approve the consent item with the necessary correction.
Got a motion by Mr. Bullock, second.
Oh, he just did that.
Second by Dr. Ellis. Yeah, but that was just for approving those 2.
Well, that's on the 2 things.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Commissioners, we'll go down front for recognition of our employees' time for years of service. We always want to recognize our employees for the years of service, whether they're here or not. We appreciate all the years that they have given to the county, and we appreciate the ones that's come, but we also don't want to fail to mention the ones that are not here. Daphne McCoy with DSS, 5 years of service. Please let her know that we appreciate her time of service when you see her. Monica Graham, DSS, another 5 years. Please let her know so also. Lou Jimenez, DSS. Lou.
Mr. Chairman, she has family there too.
Yes, bring the family on. Everybody can come. This is your building and we serve at your pleasure. So have your way in your building.
There you go.
Ms. Vicky. On behalf of the commissioners, give you a little envelope here with gifts. And we give you your 5-year service appreciation award from the county. We thank you so much and appreciate it and look forward to you working many more years.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you.
Like what?
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
I'll tell you a little bit about Liz. Liz is one of the first faces that you see when you come into our agency. She is at our front desk there. She's always very helpful to our clients, and she takes that position as a receptionist very seriously. She has taken it upon herself to know about all of our benefits that we offer in the agency to make sure that she gets our patrons to where they need to be. She does take a lot of pride in her job, and she is a very hard worker. And yes, we do hope that you stay with us many years, Liz.
Ms. Anna Merritt, EMS. Mr. David, would like to come up as well? And on behalf of the commissioners, we thank you for your years of service through 5 years and look forward to many more. And on behalf of the commission, we really do appreciate your service.
Thank you.
We know the last 5 years with EMS and a lot of things at the county and the pandemic, you folks have gone well and beyond, and we don't forget that and don't take any of it lightly. So we do appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you quite well. Mr. Dave.
Can't say enough about Anna. I hired her. Part-time, she worked 3 years part-time and then came on board full-time, worked 5 years. She's one of our night shift paramedics, very excellent documenter. She's taught me a lot about documentation for patient care reports, but we're glad to have her on board. She's a very integral part of our team. Thank you, Anna, for your service.
Shelton Lewis, EMS, 10 years. Again, Shelton, on behalf of the commissioner, we thank you for your 10 years of services. Just like one before you, we appreciate everything you've done. Y'all gone through some tough times, and we appreciate all the efforts that you have made. Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say something about Shelton. I worked with him for a while with E-Town Rescue. He's a tough guy. He knows how to run EMS. He knows how to order supplies, everything that EMS requires. That's the man right there. Not trying to cut him over you, but he has done a great job with EMS. And like I said, I worked with him about 10 or 15 years, and he's been great. On time, everything is right to point A. He's good. Thank you, Shelton.
All right, David, let's see you beat that now.
What, Mr. Arthur? Okay. Shelton's been with us 10 years, numerous years part-time. He is a very important part of our service. I rely on him heavily, dealing with our mechanical maintenance and things with our vehicles. He does a very good job keeping up with that stuff. He does an excellent job teaching and training new paramedics. Looking forward for another 10, brother. Thank you for everything you do.
George Willoughby with the Sheriff's Department couldn't be here, but 5 years of service there. Again, when you see him, please let him know how much we appreciate it. Dennis Swigert with the Sheriff's Communication, 5 years also. We want to thank service there as well. Vernon Beard, Sheriff Detention Center, there again, 5 years service, and we appreciate all three of those. And they couldn't be here tonight, but we do We do appreciate it. Greg Elkins, planning, 25 years and 25 more to go.
Yeah. He got 25 years playing.
I'm surprised y'all had to run me off by that.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, appreciate you on behalf of the commissioners. 25 years, you could probably tell you that's a short time. It's been a long time.
Just about fast.
So we appreciate everything you do in zoning and all, and people that work with you. And I know some of the board members, and they're very happy to be able to work with you, and y'all do a great job, and we thank you on behalf of the commission.
Thank you.
Smart.
Congratulations, Greg. 5 years of service, dedicated service. When Greg came to Bladen County, land use regulations were in their infancy. I remember he started with a mobile home ordinance, a subdivision ordinance, and that type of thing. And then the county transitioned to a zoning ordinance, which was a much larger animal. And Greg went around the county working on a land use plan and traveled the roads up and down and had 8 community. I remember all the community meetings you all had, and did such a good job working with the planning board and informing the public about the process and the need for the process. And it was relatively well received at the time. So there's been tremendous progress. Greg can give great examples and show slides of properties that were in bad shape, that needed to be cleaned up. They were eyesores, and Greg worked closely with Alan, and they've really accomplished a lot in helping to improve the aesthetics of the community. Just as the chairman said, he works so well with planning board members and the public, and treats the customers in a first-class way. And I just thank you for your service and look forward to continuing to work with you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You said it all coming up here, Greg.
Let's take a little reception right now, break for about 5 to 7 minutes. Just Luke. Hey, minute. Just a moment.
There's cupcakes.
We got cupcakes back there. We're gonna take 5 minutes for the commission to go back, and we'll recess for 5 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
Individual delegation who wish to address the commission, Madam Clerk. Thank you, ma'am. Matter of interest to commissioners.
2 things quickly.
Yes, sir, Mr. Campbell.
First off, I got a call the other day about a dump site, needed some crush and run. I sent an email immediately to Maria and to Greg, and I don't know how in the world the truck got there that quick. But the next call I got was from the fellow thanking me for the crush and run. So I don't know how y'all did it. I don't know if the guy, but thank you. Just very happy. Yeah, that's just the kind of
Yeah, Mr. McCleary gets credit for
the kind of employees we
You must have prayed on that one.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. No, I took all credit for it. I said,
Wait 1 second.
I want to make a motion that we would support our local Dixie Youth Boys who are headed to the World Series, or the next step in that.
That's already taken care of. Our policy takes care of it. Yeah.
I am glad you just mentioned that, because we do need to shut it. And you all heard that the Bladen County Dixie Youth team is going to the World Series. Our policy provides for the county to appropriate $500 for travel. A lot of those expenses, like hotel rooms and meals, are provided by the sponsor. But travel isn't an expense, and so the county policy allows. It already has that in place where Parks and Recreation deals with that. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I wish them the best of luck.
Now I know I was elected to make a motion. Thank y'all. Somebody look down.
I got it. One thing.
I think Dr. McGuire right now.
Well, I just want to appreciate Mr. McGill for doing, because at the same time, we had the whole thing, East Arcadia dump site, and it was a mess. But I did see they had dumped it there. They have not smoothed it yet, spread it, but it's there.
Good.
So I think Mr. McClary is looking around. I hope so. He'll go throughout the county and take care of all of them. So thank you.
Mr. Stockdale.
The only thing I got is I came into something that if the community, I wanted to inform the community that I have something like about, I think it's around 80,000 COVID test kits that came from CVS and Walgreens. And if anybody in the community wants any of it, they can get in contact with me, and they we'll want to come pick them up.
What's
I'm
that?
not gonna get with me something about it. I don't know how to deal with them, but they just sent me that many. I believe the date on this until 2024, I do believe.
I didn't hear it again.
Expiration date or something. But it's two packs in a kit, two tests in a kit, and they unlimited. The minute you guys want, come get it, they're not doing any good in the warehouse.
Mr. Cargill, why don't you get into the health department?
That's what I just said. I just bring it to
You
them.
said to contact you, didn't you?
No, what I'm saying is it's in the warehouse.
Yeah.
They come in to do the warehouse, and all I do is just network for them to come in. And I get them to pick them up, and they just come in. And it don't make me a difference who's up get it. But I talk with
Get in the health department, you gotta worry about it.
Gotta keep a record of it though.
what's the lady's name? Me and Nathan Dallas. You kind of Nathan knows he comes in, and they'll bring him in, and we have to get the forklift and everything and unload all this stuff. But they're in the warehouse at this time.
In our warehouse.
Bladen County warehouse.
And
If there's nothing wrong with something, all you gotta do is come over. I have to, the person I get them from, they ask for us to log them out, how many goes where. There's no limits on them, but they just wanna know where they're going to. If Miss Duncan wanna come over and get 10,000, that's fine with me, she get 20,000. I mean, she want a house, she can let them stay over there.
And part of that is because people from outlying areas, they'll get those kids dispersed to them.
Yeah.
Instead of them coming to Elizabethtown, because they can't, most of them can't come to this district.
Yeah, but some of them come, people from Columbus County, some of them from Sampson County, Pender County, they all come and pick them up, and I just house them right there in the warehouse. It's just a network point where they come in, that's all.
Anyone else? Information Technology Department, Sheriff's Office, Robin Hewitt, Director, and Captain Jeff Singletary.
He was nervous.
First off, let me state on this library, this doesn't have anything to do with the sheriff's office. I was asked by Mr. Hewitt to.
He's been bird dogging this for years with me, so.
We've been kind of working on this. So the library, the internet connection or connectivity we have over there is not very, very good. We put in some equipment in the last couple of years. It's up on the tower. It shoots a beam from here over to the library, and it's gone up 2 or 3 times, and it's very costly when we go to replace it. So we've been looking at different options over the last 2 or 3 years. You probably have a copy of an email that I got from Fort County, and then dealing with them with the Viper project, the towers and stuff. We expressed to them some of our issues. So they come up, and the price that's quoted or referenced in and that's just a budgetary amount, has actually gone up from what we talked about a couple of years ago because of inflation and everything. That's probably the maximum cost that it possibly could cost. We've talked, we may have some other options that are considerably cheaper, still using fiber. But we just wanted to update you, and what we're trying to do, that's my understanding, there's $750,000 that's set aside for broadband in the ARPA money. And we're hopefully asking to utilize or at least have $25,000 designated for the library project so that we can have good, reliable internet there. Also during this process, it looks like they may also possibly be able to serve the incubator building. Right now, that's our understanding that they are on
CenturyLink
on DSL there, so that would give good, reliable internet to both. Again, we're not asking for anything tonight. We just wanted to inform you all and to answer any questions that you may have. Yes, sir.
What does Fort County Electric got to do with internet cable, fiber cable?
So they've got their own private fiber network, and the county uses Interstar and Fort County. Fort County does not primarily go to residences. It's for their use and for institutional use only. So it's very limited on who can use it. If we get Fort County over from the courthouse or get Fort County to the library, we can actually bring them on the county network. And there's a whole lot more, it's a whole lot more secure. All of our existing firewalls and all of our existing setups will work the way they're working instead of having to do a whole bunch of reprogramming and all kinds of stuff. So ideally, if we get Interstar or Fort County to the library, it's basically easier in the long run. And then 4 counties come back, all they're going to charge us, and again, they've said all parking 25,000 is the construction cost. Again, that's a high figure. But once we get the construction costs squared away or figure out how we're going to do the boring over to the library, and again, we've got some other options that we think would be cheaper. They're not going to charge us to actually provide the internet service ever.
One of the safeguards you have to be concerned about is for the library on some of the stuff available or not available to be access to.
That's correct, because you've got 2 different layers, and Robert could probably explain this.
I probably get more complaints from citizens about our libraries than anything I do. And it's, anytime it goes down, it's not down for just the employees, it's down for everybody who's attempting to use that Wi-Fi. That's what we're trying to do, make a permanent fix and not have to come back to this again.
So Jeff, what you're saying, once we install it, you won't have to pay like an annual fee to keep it on. It'll just be running. Correct. We just have to keep it upgraded.
Right. We got to bear the cost of getting it installed. And again, there's some different options there.
The way we're thinking about doing it is actually it would be incorporated into our network, and therefore any upgrades that we would naturally have to do to our network would follow through into the library itself.
No, I was going to ask, since using ARP money, do we need to do it when we had our ARP meeting, or just does it matter?
Yes, sir. And tonight is just for information.
Okay.
Get it on your radar.
Okay. So they have to do an application on the process to do it.
No, it would just be the county, because it's the county entity, we just be reserving.
Just reserve the funds.
You have to do an agreement with first 4 county, I'm not sure about the details.
Right.
Would that create a problem with the 750 that you got, that you had set aside for the early internet project?
No, sir, what we're thinking is if you all would appropriate a portion of that for this project.
Any other questions? Thank you. I appreciate you coming. Yes, sir. Emergency Services, Nathan Dowles, Director. Ms. Martin speaking for Nathan.
Yes, sir, thank you, Commissioner. This is an update to the agreement. It basically changes the wording from referencing Hurricane Matthew to Hurricane Florence. It also extends the performance period through August 15th, 2024. So.
Second. Motion by Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Cameron McGill. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, sir. Finance Department, Ms. Lisa Coleman.
Evening, champion. We'll have to review for the 12 months ending June 30th. But let me make sure you're aware, we do have still revenues that are coming in through September 15th that we will roll back. So this is not a full snapshot of what the audit will look like at the end of June. The revenues for the general fund are at 86.6%, 06%. And just let me tell you this, we still have 3 months of sales tax to bring in. We have approximately 2 months of DSS, health, and divisional nature to bring in for the time that money actually hits the bank. So there's part of that sale. The expenditures are at 82.67%. I know on the cash and investment side, I want to give you an update. I have closed the CD. We are earning, instead of earning 0.15% on the CD, we are now earning 1.38% in trust. So we've moved it there until we can see what's going to take place. Hopefully we'll get into a bigger place. We've Greg and I have talked with John Fry at the Cash Management, and they're looking for the interest rates to be a little bit higher for the feds this fall. So we're waiting to see what's going to take place before we lock it in anywhere. Solid waste, the revenues are 76%, expenditures are 74%. Emergency telephones at 31% and 32% expenditures. Water revenues are at 100% and the expenditures are 86%. And as you can see on the American Rescue Plan, I have gone ahead and moved the $5.6 million over to the general fund for us to be able to spend it on the ARP and the table projects. So that's already been taken out of that money. So right now we just still have the $751,000 in there. Any questions on that? Okay. On the dashboard, on the federal inmates, if you notice on it, we are short about $18,000. I have discussed this with the sheriff in June. They have been doing some moving around of federal inmates relocating, so we were down a few in June. But fortunately enough, the misdemeanor program that we budgeted for this year came in $190,000 over budget. So we took care of that $18,000 deficit. Any questions on that?
So, one person, I mean, you was referring to $750,000 move, moving some of the off money. Is that $750,000 this Kwanzaa?
Yes, sir.
Why, when we switched it all over to salary, why couldn't that be moved up?
We did.
Because it's got to be on, if we apply for the GREAT grant or the CAB grant, it has to be in our money. It cannot be in just enabled projects.
You didn't switch over.
We did.
It's designated.
But it's,
saying what?
salaries, we did the full amount less than
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Right. And see, we're earning interest on that money right now in a separate account, but that money gets to go to the general fund.
Okay.
We're just trying to leave it there to keep account of what it is
So
actually doing.
whenever we get ready to spend it, it's only to be used for all purposes.
Right.
That's correct, yes.
Unless y'all designate, if something happens and you need to designate it to another project, it can be reduced if these projects fall through.
Please be recognized so you can stay in order, Mr. Bull.
I've got a question. The inmates that pick up garbage, do they receive any kind of financial benefit?
They are paid through the misdemeanor program.
Yeah.
I went from $40 to $60, and they have to work 500 hours a month.
And you get paid $40 a month?
$60. It increased to $60.
That's personal income.
Personal, no, they don't get anything.
But the reason for the large increase over budget that it's a reference is because the state changed that program. So that as long as the county provides 500 service hours of litter cleanup throughout the month, then we receive $60 a day per inmate rather than 40.
Okay.
And when we have, what, 20 or so?
So we're at 27.
Right, and they get lead time for every day that they serve there, they get so many days off.
Off the sentence.
So it's a win-win.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bull. Advisory board appointments. Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee 1.
Jermaine Hines.
Motion by Mr. Jermaine Hines, Mr. Peterson, second by, who was it, Gillespie, or Mr. Hester?
I've got a question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, yes, sir.
On one of these, they said she didn't qualify.
That's for the nursing.
That was a nursing home.
Okay.
Who made that decision?
The nursing home cog lady.
Yeah,
Lisa.
We
got an email. That'd be out
I've seen
for
the
you.
email and everything, but I'm saying, she would have more understanding of the nursing home part than.
She has to be out of work for a year, and then she'd be eligible to be on nursing home for reason.
So that's from the card.
Well, that's the advisory.
Okay, all right.
We got a motion by Mr. Peterson, second.
I did.
Mr. Hester.
Okay.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So be it. Thank you. Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, JCPC 13.
Matt Long
You want to change one?
for Mac Warner, Lynn Emery for Troy Cronk, Holly Nevenbar for William Sellers, reappoint Vicky Smith, Dr. Rudy Raphael for Kathy Gantz, reappoint Al Marshman, reappoint Kayla Banks, reappoint Margie Lewis, reappoint Dr. Lee, reappoint Stevie Craig, put Clint Allen in Don Whittington's place, put Kelly Cribb in Lance Britt's place, reappoint Scott, reappoint Randy Ellis, and reappoint Philip Little.
Second.
If we need recommendation from the youth child, or recommendation from the board, from the PCP board. Changes. These recommendations are from Miss Marie Edwards, our secretary. Those,
I thought they had some that's not finished, not full still, right?
I just read it, what, and Russell's on the floor.
I mean, does that take care of all
I'll
the
second that.
positions?
They have questions.
Got a motion and a second, and further discussion? What's your discussion?
Yes, questions.
I don't know what I said, does that take care of all the positions that's available? That's the only question I had.
You know, this is one we fussed about last time, and Marie sent a note out for everybody to be replaced. I read exactly what she had sent us.
All I'm saying, asking the question is, the one that you gave does that fill in all the vacancies? That's all I ask.
As far as I know.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
These are
Sure you will.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Local Emergency Planning Committee 1.
That Vernon James is gone, so I would put, Darrell Dallas on there. He's a Smithville employee.
What's his name?
Darrell Dallas.
Got a motion by Mr. Peterson, second. Second by Mr. Gillespie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Nursing Home Advisory Committee 3.
Jill Sampson in place of Jermaine Hines. Vicky Kinlaw to replace Ricky Bird. And Bridget Ezel to replace Larry Yoder.
Second, Dr. McGowan. Motion by Mr. Peters, second by Dr. McGowan. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Thank you. County Manager, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to review the calendar with you for the remainder of July and for August. And point out that the NACO annual conference starts at the end of this week. Also, just want to back up, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the Chamber of Commerce monthly breakfast meeting will take place at the farmers market. There is an event Friday and Saturday from Friday from 3 until 8. That's the Experience Conference 22. That'll take place at Bladen Community College. It continues on Saturday from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. And on Tuesday, the 26th at 6 p.m., the Department of Environmental Quality will have a meeting at the Crown Theater in the hospital regarding genetics. Moving over to August, on Monday, the 1st at 8 a.m., there's a prayer service here. The board meets that evening at 6:30. Thursday, the 4th, at HCPC, a virtual meeting. On Monday, the 8th, at 5 p.m., the Health and Human Services Advisory Board meets. Thursday, the 11th, through Saturday, the annual North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Conference will take place in Concord. Also, on Thursday, the 11th, from 2 until 3, there's a training for local boards of health, which I know you here in Bladen County. On Monday, the 15th, the board meets at 6:30, and on Saturday, the 20th, at 12 noon, there's a prayer service at the courthouse lawn. Moving over to, while you have your calendar out, moving over to item B. Mrs. Becky Spearman, the Cooperative Extension Director, has asked or expressed interest in having a report for the people, as we've done in the past years. You all know we've kind of taken a break for a couple of years due to COVID. But in past years, one of the times we've had those meetings is prior to a regular board meeting, Monday afternoon, or whatever. So I know that may not work for everyone, but we just wanted to put it out to see what time would be best for you all.
What month?
How much you want to do it August 1st before our meeting? How much you want to do it?
She was suggesting, October.
October.
Glory.
Yeah, October 17th.
And what's the content of the meeting?
Just an overview of the contentious programs.
It'll be cold.
And what time?
I'm planning on being here.
Normally, or yeah, suggestion in the past, it started like at 4 o'clock or 4:30 and wrapped up by 5:30 or 6. Light refreshments.
4:30. Okay.
October.
Okay, that is Monday.
Yes, our meeting night.
That's the meeting.
Yeah. 4:30 is good.
Make a motion, 4:30 on the 17th.
Second.
Well, 4:30.
4:30.
She said 4 or 4:30.
Right, I go.
Mr. Peters from behind stake there between that and our meeting.
Yeah, right, I got the 5:30.
I think you need to take into consideration, like Dr. Ellis and,
I mean, y'all can have without me, I'm good.
Well, no, that's why I was saying, we recognize that. I'm just, she just.
same with Dr. Ellis for people with appointments and this, that, and the other in office. You understand that?
But have it on a separate night, they would.
I'd rather have it that night, but maybe like early on that meeting.
Yeah, even if you had to miss it.
5:30. Okay, I got what you're saying. You're saying on that evening, just starting early.
As opposed to another night.
5:30 be okay? I'll be there for the state.
How long is it like to stay? Do that, I'm gonna have.
You got to do at least 4:30 or 5.
Well, let's do it at 4:30, we'll get here when we can get.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
mean, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying, it's fine with the understanding that you can't.
What's third, October the 17th? You need a motion for that?
We did already, and I second it.
Made a motion, other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank
Thank you.
you.
Item C, we had a presentation at the last meeting regarding the Enterprise Fleet Management Program. And, we would like to ask you to consider approving a master equity lease agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second. Got a motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Cameron McGill. We got further discussion, Mr. Peters.
So Mr. Barton, in the law, letter from the lawyers, they were talking about a schedule. So I still ain't seen the schedule.
We don't have to skip yet. Yes, sir, that's
Well,
coming.
why would we approve it without seeing the schedule that the lawyer recommends and we look at?
Well, just to be sure we know this is the direction we don't have to approve if you want to tell us to.
Well, I think we need to look at the schedule. I want to see the schedule.
I got a question too, and so have they not, and then what does schedule mean? How does it mean?
Well, the schedule is just the vehicles, you're talking about the particular vehicles that we would purchase
Okay.
and sell.
Rotation.
Like the life of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and remember, it may vary. If it's a good time to sell, trucks in the market for used trucks aside, then they would recommend that we sell and, whatever. So it's a kind of a fluid type arrangement. But the issue is we know which vehicles we need to purchase, or you all have already appropriated funds to purchase. The issue is getting the list of vehicles that we can sell. And that's what we're working
How long would the agreement be for? How many years?
on. It was a 2-year, I think it's 2 years.
So I come back.
But we can wait until the.
I come back to my original question.
I'll second
The lawyers sent us a letter saying
That's
that
right.
there's no schedule and we need to see the schedule before we approved it. I mean, if we're not gonna listen to our lawyers, don't send it to them for them to approve. If we're not gonna do the recommendations, is all I'm saying. I have no idea what the schedule
that.
is.
Me either. That's why I agree.
The schedule is the list of vehicles.
But I'm
We
saying,
haven't seen it.
That's fine.
We haven't seen it.
We
The
don't
lawyer
have-
hasn't saw it. He didn't want to.
You know the vehicles we're gonna purchase. We don't have to list it for sale yet. But that's fine, that's fine, we can. say this-
I recommend we wait.
it time to speak on it? I'm sorry. The
No,
vehicle
we got
that
another
we,
one.
the president asked, the vehicle that we currently have, they included in this new arrangement.
They will be.
All the
We
ones
can
that
have
got
whatever we
now.
want, that will be,
We
that
go
will all
in
be
and
worked in, and we'll have the net price. That's all gonna be factored in.
So that arrangement is starting with the vehicles we have now, they'll be included in everything to get ready to have.
The ones that we're planning to purchase,
And the ones that we were planning to get
and the
rid
ones
of.
that we sell, they'll be
You
in
know what
net.
they-
Is that what the
Why
schedule
did
is?
they-
They'll have that sale too.
Why did they?
They'll have all of it.
That's right.
So it won't be the more public auction on equipment. They'll
No,
have
not
it.
unless they're just old dilapidated ones that we already have out there.
Okay, I want to know what was getting ready to happen. They're gonna handle it. They're gonna handle everything.
Yeah.
Except the old
We
equipment.
should say that.
Well,
All this time to consider.
I think,
I ain't got no problem with two of them with them. I just,
Mr. Marks, correct me, Commissioner, if you would, if I get your attention. Correct me if when you're talking about the scheduling of when to depart with it, whether to keep it, knowledge, that's something that we don't sit here and make that decision anyway.
No, they'll come back, you'll ultimately make the decision.
I'm
They'll
saying
come back
we'll
with a
make it, but
recommendation.
what I'm saying, who better than the people that's operating and responsible for it, because we're just supporting what they say. But, I don't think I think the concern about the question about,
When to trade.
I think that's something that we maybe be overreacting on, that it's not necessarily a situation.
I certainly I appreciate Mr. Johnson's letter and I understand it. I guess if we can just have clear direction, I know we had a presentation at the last meeting, the
Correct.
response seemed favorable, but we really didn't have any good, clear direction. So as long as we are all, or the majority of us are on the same page, that we want to move forward in that regard, then we're fine moving forward. You don't have to take any action tonight. We'll come back, hopefully at our next meeting with the schedule of the vehicles to be able to sell.
could I
Is that
get,
fair?
could I get one
That's
clarity?
fine.
Could I get one clarity on
Yes,
that?
sir.
When I hear us talking about the vehicle, so the way it's gonna function, I wanna make sure I understand. If a department head needs a new vehicle, they would just request it like they normally do the process. We'll approve for the vehicle to be replaced, for a new vehicle to be added to the fleet.
Right.
And then
Every
they
year
will,
we'll go through a
then they will
process.
purchase with the same process that we do now to add vehicles to the fleet.
Generally.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of the determination of whether or not we need to actually obtain that vehicle.
That's what I'm saying, like,
That's right.
if one of the guys say we need an extra vehicle for maintenance down there, he'll still make the same request to us, and then we'll just refer it to those guys to process that vehicle.
Correct.
They'll handle all that process.
That's right.
Mr. Peters.
My comment was, I got this letter from this lawyer questioning the schedule thing. And I know it's probably level, flat across the board, but I still got this letter from a lawyer. And I really need to understand that before I vote on it. And that was my whole thing, not disputing or questioning anything anybody's done. It's just, I got this letter from legal and I'm not legal, so I need to understand it. And it might not be nothing, but I still need to understand it. That's all I'm trying to make.
Go on, Mr. Mark.
Already. We all emailed it,
I'll withdraw my second.
Draw a second to the
I withdraw my
We
second.
got a motion withdrawn, we got the second withdrawn. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Go ahead, Mr. Mark.
Thank you. You all know that there has have been concerns addressed regarding the loud trucks and noise, that type of thing that they create coming through town out in the county. So we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with police chiefs from various towns, representatives of the sheriff, representatives from his office, John David and Glenn Emery from the district attorney's office. We had a couple of commissioners who were there and discussed the matter and tried to determine the good path forward. We talked about the need to beef up county's noise ordinance and the town's, various towns' noise ordinances as well, because in order to be able to prosecute now, they really need to more specific information, decibel levels and that type of thing. So just a lot more particular. And so we have provided a draft for your review. We shared that with District Attorney John David. He was very positive in his response to it. So we really are just tonight sharing this with you, and we'll plan to, if you all have any questions or concerns, please let us know. If we don't hear anything, we'll plan to have it on the agenda for consideration at the next meeting.
Would they be able to regulate state highways too? This in the town, or what they gonna regulate? Cause they come by my house, every morning call, run me out of my bed.
That's the kind of thing they do. That's the kind of thing.
We're gonna get a shock collar for you. Mr. Peters.
Hey, I'm all for the ordinance, now, so don't take what I'm asking the wrong way. So, if the town's got to approve this policy for it to be enforced in the city limits?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when I looked at how it would be, enforced, I didn't really see nothing in there, did I?
No, yeah, no, what you did.
So are we gonna be able to enforce it, what I'm asking to do? That's the
Talking
second
about on the
question.
criminal, it references the statute that gets the.
But I mean, how are you gonna, if I got loud mufflers, how are we?
Leslie's letter,
We're gonna have to have some kind of.
there's got to be a measuring device, or he addressed that.
Well, but the meeting we had, interesting part was you had two different things. You had the radios and the music. That's almost impossible because somebody can say, oh, my radio's somebody else. But the mufflers, that's an equipment thing. So if they can inspect and go, that muffler is illegal, I mean, then they've got to get it fixed. If they don't get it fixed, and so then, so it's provable. That vehicle belongs to that person and that vehicle is not, following the law. So it's easier to enforce.
That's a very good point out there.
Thank you.
Didn't say. One of the approaches for addressing this is to have the officer who issues the citation to be the actual person who signs off when that vehicle owner comes back with proof that he has taken off the mufflers or made the necessary changes to lower the level.
Similar to somebody having a tint on their windows.
Yeah. I'm all for this, don't get me wrong. So, I am, I'm gonna vote for it, but I wanna make sure it's got, you can get people to play with bad. Look here, If a police officer hears a loud muffler, has he got his decibel machine, he's gonna, I mean, that's.
There's already a state statute that authorizes.
I'm trying to understand it, I just don't understand it.
There's already a state statute that authorizes law enforcement officers to address that very issue. And they actually, in White Lake, I mean, they're doing that already. But it's harder to really, this may have more teeth, it may or may not have more teeth, but it's just another tool to be able to address.
Well, quite frankly.
Well, I asked about the weapons. They're shooting, I don't care, they kept on, they shooting on the weekends, just out in the blank, just in the open. They gonna stop that too? If I file a complaint?
I forwarded that, Dr. Montgomery
Target practice, you
asked
mean?
about that this weekend.
Target shoot?
I don't know the answer. I forwarded that to John David.
Yes, sir.
And I haven't heard back.
Yeah.
Mr. Hester's.
Do you know how much these decimal measuring devices are going to cost? Hundreds of dollars. Some of them are $20. And some are a lot much cheaper than that.
But, so that's
Chicago, wait just a minute.
After that time.
Now you.
so what you're saying, radios and music is gonna be off the table? Is that something you're not gonna be able to do?
They false.
Saying it's harder to govern.
I'm just saying that's the problem that we complain about down there, like they're coming down the bypass, the music so loud you think they're inside your house.
Yeah. That's one thing.
And
I think one of the biggest complaints we get, to get out of the car at the gas station and go into the gas station, get drinks or pay for whatever we want. And we're hearing everything at 40 decibels above and talking about everything but Jesus.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And I think it's disrespectful. But what we discussed, also is the law's been on the books forever. If you don't believe it, when I was a teenager, Charles was a teenager, and I looked at the sheriff, it's called improper equipment. And we got plenty of tickets back in the day for it. You know, you couldn't have a Blue Boy, glass pack, or anything. And the ticket, there wasn't a decimal reader, there wasn't anything. You just got a ticket, take them off, put on something quieter. I mean, the laws are on the books, and I looked at the sheriff, I said, Sheriff, isn't that the way it used to be? That's exactly right. So I don't know why we have to do all this changing anyway. But anyway, Mr. Peterson.
So, are we going to, send this to the towns for their approval?
They already have, I mean.
They already have it, they gonna vote on it?
No, I don't know about that. We'll follow up with them.
Well, I mean,
They have
don't do-
representatives that,
I guess what I'm saying, if they don't approve it, then you come to city limits and blow it out. Okay.
How about Harley Davidsons? I mean, I hate to say it, and I love my Harley friends and patients as much as anyone, but they'll get downtown. I mean, I'm just asking all of a sudden, I mean, it definitely opens up a can of worms. I mean, I understand the young guy with the muffler. I get it just like y'all do. It's overbearing, but it seems like it's gonna be mighty difficult for not only, I don't know, sheriff, anyway, I don't know.
So something's gotta be done. I think what I took away from the meeting, it was a good meeting, it was a long meeting, we talked about a lot of things. It's not for somebody that's just barely over the limit. It's the guy that's going through where literally you're shaking the windows and so arrogant and so in your face. Those are the cases that are gonna get pulled. That's what's happening at the lake, and it's making a difference. And it's like the tint on the windows. If you don't get your tent fixed, then you're gonna keep getting, court date, you're gonna have more fines and, but I don't think, we're not trying to police state the community and anybody that's just a little bit, I mean, my Jeep's got some mufflers on that you can hear. But it's
really amazing because half the town, I can't even wait. I don't even know who's driving the car because I can't even see them. I mean, they're brand new cars with the labels on the front, and I think I know who they are, but I'll be daggone if I can see them. So I don't know about y'all, but I noticed that a lot.
Thank you. You all will recall that 3 months ago, the board approved a pilot project for flex time for county employees. I wanted to report back to you that we saw feedback from department managers and employees and received good feedback. It is predominantly being used in the Department of Social Services and in the health department. We had a report today that 27% of employees in the Department of Social Services and 18% of employees in the health department participate in this program. And we did share some of the feedback with you, but overall, it was the vast majority was positive. So our recommendation that you all consider approving this on an indefinite basis, and if we have issues.
Question about that. There's one thing. Miss Smith, particularly about your department. I know at one time I called and some of the young ladies were saying on this day, this one didn't work and this didn't work. And you're trying to call someone into the office and you couldn't get nobody, or they were saying don't take calls on certain days. Is that because of flex or what's creating that problem?
No, the child support unit does not take calls on Wednesday. But if you call in on a day that an employee's out, vacation, flex, or what, there's going to be someone else that you can speak with.
There will always be somebody, because I know some people called me at one time, so they were trying to get someone in the department, they couldn't get anybody.
We're in America right now.
Call me.
Yeah, call me.
So, Mr. Martin, the only thing I would like to say is there is a couple of negative comments in there. Would you please follow up with them or wherever they come out of and see if we can iron that out? And I'm also moving forward with it. I don't know if I want to do it indefinitely, but I think we'll do like that maybe 6 months, just to review it to see how it's going. What I would suggest.
The chair has a question. Like one of the comments, some want to do it on certain days. Will they be able to do all of that, or they'll work it out in each department?
My understanding is they work it out with each department. There's no guarantee, like everybody takes off Friday, or it's not that, that's not the way it's operating.
But my other concern it won't be on Mondays either, when everybody needs to reach them. How about the health department? Not the health department, the health department. Yeah, health department for where Cora used to be over there. Those guys, environmental, right? Those folks.
Environmental health is fixed and animal control is not.
So everyone in environmental? Everyone. Oh, that's awesome. You say environment, but the animal cannot.
Animal control did not want to at this time.
Oh, okay.
The option is still there. We're looking at it a month at a time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure, Mr. Bullock.
Only question I have, do the employees rotate days off? You know, like I might take days off for 1 month and then next month I need to rotate to another day. Do we rotate the days off?
Fridays and Mondays are not guaranteed, not in the HHS services.
Right.
They have to rotate. They can have a Friday off, but not every Friday or every Monday.
Now,
Or not every Friday or Monday.
but if I get approved for a day off, how long do I have that day to be off? If I can approve for flex on Thursday, how long would I can use that Thursday time off?
Our schedule is put out a month at the time because you have to look at who is on vacation, and we still have to be able, first of all, we've got to cover our services with the same quality that we have.
Right.
So based on who's on vacation, who's on sick, but ours comes out a month at a time. And if you were taking vacation and you already had vacation planned for that week, and you're going to start your vacation on Friday, you don't flex that week.
Okay.
So if I get approved for Thursday, my question is, how long can I have that Thursday off?
Ours is a month at the time. So
Okay.
you might get Thursday the whole week, the whole time, but you might not. But a month ahead, you would know what days you do get.
And it's not a set schedule, Doctor?
Again,
I mean, like it has to rotate, so this person doesn't just start taking this day all the time,
Because again, we've got other people that are on vacation or FMLA or.
Mr. Gillespie.
I just got a suggestion. Why don't the commission stay out of it? The department's head sound like they got to handle, until we get a complaint, let's leave it alone.
I just wanted to
It's
question.
working.
I just wanted to question, let you know, how long can I have a certain day off? Sometimes in some administration, you have the day off 2 months, then you got to get another day.
Well,
Whatever they got is working.
They're working that out.
Yeah.
I had to have it.
They're working that out.
For the federal government?
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
Thank you. Item E, if you all like to intend to lift the state of emergency, or it will lift on August 15th. So just want to remind you all that the ability for local governments to hold virtual meetings, or for members of boards to participate virtually, really is not very clear in the existing statute prior to the state of emergency. So, we welcome your feedback in terms of wanting to come up with some type of local policy or how you may want to proceed, if you want to do anything. I just want to bring it to your attention.
Mr. Pearson.
Man, I strongly suggest that we do away with Zoom meetings. If you can't be here, you can't be here, but you need to be here if you can be. I don't want to work on this policy.
I don't think it should be, if something was going on with this day and time with technology.
Yeah.
And accessibility of it. Ain't like we got a problem with getting it on that screen back there. I'm not saying to do a full Zoom, but the person has to be out of town, want to participate in a meeting for an emergency, but wanting to be available for a meeting. I think we should accommodate that person if they want to be a part of the board. That's just my feeling. I don't see us just say, let's get everybody to call in. But if somebody got a true emergency and want to be Zoomed on that board back there to participate in the meeting, we looking at it. Everything except closed session, I think, should be permissible.
And that really would be the very extent of what you could do anyway, because there's no provision where you ought to have a board meeting without at least a quorum being physically present.
It says you have no clear authority to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's in the
I like that.
But we can set the policy and do it if we want to.
It says you have no clear authority to
I
participate.
know, that's right. I mean, that's what we talked
That
about.
means you can't set policy unless they change it, their perception. Read it on set.
Yeah, there's no clear statutory authority for virtual meetings for local government.
And that's okay. But it doesn't say that you couldn't have.
You say you can't.
Well, remember, we're an enabling, we're a state that has requires enabling legislation. So in order for a local government to do anything, you have to have state authority to do it. It's not a difference where you, unless they say you can't, you can, it's not.
I'm gonna give you an example. I was already on vacation up to the 5th, so I was gonna home in. Still didn't get to do it because I was traveling. So that's only why I did it. But luckily you had a form, so it didn't matter. So, but some cases it could be. You didn't have a form.
Well, you couldn't use a person participating virtually to create.
Now you can, that's right. Okay. So, okay, that's fine. Okay. I just want to show up. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't think it's right.
We'll be glad to try to work on anything you want to do, but at this point, we'll just wait until we hear.
Correct.
Unless you.
If I may, could you give us a quick 30-second on COVID, how we look at countywide?
Wonderful.
So we are still in the yellow, that's the great news. We are experiencing now the most contagious variant, BA.5. Yet, however, because of lots of work with vaccine and some immunity, we don't see the hospitalizations nor the deaths. We're at a good state again compared to what we were last year. We're still doing the vaccine Monday through Friday at the health department. After this, we exceeded dose. So Pfizer, we're going to go just to Moderna because the dosages are there's so many dosages between Pfizer and Moderna. We want to be safe. And the efficacy for Moderna has shown to be very effective in both children and adults. The testing, drive-through testing is still available at the EMS Training Center Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. And we have COVID tests available at the health department as well. We also put them in the outlying libraries and on the busy bus going out to different areas.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Individual delegation, wish to address the commissioners.
So I was thinking about this the other day and I called and I hated Jeff left. But the radios are in and being programmed.
Ms. Duncan, on those tests, if you would get with me and I'll make sure you get what you want out of that test. If you need something today, you can have an interest. Excuse me.
Right now, we got plenty of those for 5 to a pack.
I like that.
If you want, I got it.
Dr. Montgomery.
So when do they come out to the East Arcadia area for selling? Do we have a list when they outline?
I'm not sure when it is, I mean, so we're planning to take some potentially to the nutrition site centers as well.
Okay.
Just gotta make sure they're maintained at appropriate.
Yeah, that might be a, okay.
Motion to adjourn. Yeah.
I got a question, Mr. Martin, can ARPA funds be utilized for building construction updates on non-historical sites?
If there are, well, first of all, specifically in Bladen County,
Yeah.
our funds have been our ARPA funds have been appropriated for salaries. So we're considering our funds ARPA enabled funds at this point. So it must have been earmarked, whatever appropriated.
The funds that you gave
But as
us,
far as for construction, as a general rule, no.
so the funds that you gave to each commissioner,
If it's for a nonprofit, if it's for a town or whatever, then we can do, there may be an opportunity for something like that. But just for like, are you asking like for?
well, that's an organization want to improve their building.
No, sir.
Okay.
As a general statement, I'd probably need to know more about the specifics to answer that fully, but as a general rule, no.
I know, 'cause I think one of the Masonic lodges asked for a roofing or something.
And that's not, and that may be, that was in, that part, I don't know if you've seen that email that.
Yeah.
That was one of the, matter of reference there.
Capital, can program.
What did you say?
Can't do capital, can do program.
Can I quote, because some folks are online tonight and they can hear your answers. Same thing with salary, does not pay salary, transportation, vehicles, cannot do that. Correct?
As a general rule, it would be, the county would be contracting with that organization to provide a service.
Service, and not, how about supplies though?
Well, if that's part of their service, it may be.
Okay. So if you want computers, they can purchase computers? They can? Okay, thank you.
It's for a specific program.
Program, it is. Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, just not to belabor the point, just one important piece of information. Those programs need to be open to the at-large community, or if it's something specific, it needs to be targeted toward low to moderate income individuals, or if it's in a neighborhood or community that is largely low to moderate income, then that is right.
And like the church, it cannot be any denominational country.
It's not, there's no problem for the county to appropriate funds to the church. It just can't be for those members.
And are we fair to say at the same time that if those, you don't, all those funds have to, they have to submit receipts for everything that they are purchasing, or just the big things?
They will give the application, and then what we decided to do, the last thing on our contract, is they have to provide pictures and the other day of how they spent the funds.
How they spend the money. Okay, good. Oh, thank you.
We got a motion by Mr. Cameron, second by Mr. Peters. All in favor, say aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.